is it going? How's it going? Just in time to watch your favorite Super Mario Maker 2 stream. I guess it doesn't take much to be your favorite Super Mario Maker 2 stream. All right. Okay. We're going to see what happens when we restart. All right, we got our .emacs. The font size is not large enough for my taste. Permission denied. Oh, because we have it open in the... We've got it open from this morning stream. Except now, because we closed the console window manually, Visual Studio is not going to know what to do, and it's just going to like barf and crash. So while that's happening, because software is really good, this is why you can't even just have an IDE now. You have to have like language server protocol connecting everything. Oh, wait. Stop now. Oh, it doesn't seem to be stopping. Why is it so hard to stop debugging a program? I don't know. I don't know. They only put decades. Oh, it finally did it. I'm impressed. I think previous Visual Studios wouldn't have recovered. I take back everything. Software is getting better. Software is the best today that it's ever been. And it's all good. It's the best. Bring on the language server protocol. I want all my protocols talking to all my other protocols protocoliciously. Okay, let's edit this though. I don't even remember where my frickin' font size is. When people say, what's your Emacs theme? I should just go here, because that's what it is. So I actually today, people will be shocked. Okay, hold on. Is it called font? Okay, there we go. I'm going to delete all these, because these are like ancient things. Let's go like 17. That'll be better for programming. Except like, look, my mode line is off the bottom. I like reloaded with a bigger font, and now like the whole frickin' mode line is like off the bottom. Thanks, Emacs. I take it back. Software is terrible. Should have seen what happened when I re-downloaded Commander today. It was so bad. The way that I do case is just the way that I do it. It's just what works for me. Other people do different things, obviously. Oh, so I was going to say, I actually decided today to invest a little bit of time and make it so I could compile and run the game from Emacs, because everyone always complains about, oh, great. It worked fine on my laptop, but now it opens a third window in the middle. Like, what? Why would I want that? Oh, and there's still a zombie process going. Oh my God. Okay, I was going to say it works great, but it doesn't work great because I would want this. All right, whatever. But then anyway, then I tried to do the thing where you can like go to the error message and then jump to the next line where the error happened. And that's like completely impossible in Emacs. It's a complete disaster. I mean, it claims to be simple, and then you try to do it and nothing happens and there's no feedback about why it doesn't work. And then you can't do anything, sorry. All right, well, I guess I'm not going to use that today. I just got my new .emacs from my laptop so that I could use that feature, and I can't now. I guess maybe it's doing something. Like MetaX compile has a default where if it thinks it has enough pixels, it doesn't take over the other. Like, what? See, I have no idea how to fix this, and I can't step through it because it's Emacs Lisp, so forget it. At least I don't know. Maybe there is a good debugger for Emacs Lisp now. There didn't used to be. This is why I don't bother. Like what? Like literally, okay, see, this is fine. That's what I want. If there's only one window, it opens a second one. But if there's already two and they're different things, it, like what, who thinks that that's enough for, okay. So we're not going to do that today. We're giving up on Emacs. Is documentation also bad? Yes, documentation is bad, but it's not as bad as software because documentation can't kill you and software can. So there's that. Okay. Anyway, let's make our debug compiler is up to date. I was going to debug this thing. Okay. I have a bug in my email backlog about, we tend to have this typical message loop thing where you create a workspace, you could start intercepting, you call wait for message, and it's never really supposed to return null. However, here we've never added any source code. I wonder if that's why it's returning null. Basically, the problem is, this is a user level program that's like doing a metaprogram thing, and message is being null, so it's crashing. And I don't think this should ever return null. So we have to figure out why it's doing that. Let's see what happens if we add a little bit of code, though. Is it? So we'll call add build string of name is whatever to workspace. Let's just see what happens. Okay, there it doesn't return null. So it's probably in some state where it's like, wait, nobody like ever returned anything. Let's okay. Where is that defined? messenger. Well, we return null right at the top. Is that the only time? No, we return null at the bottom as well, if there are no messages. Wait, no, this one should never happen because we wait on this semaphore. I think we'll make a message type. So like if the compiler is shutting down and we need to return something, we're just going to make that message type. This is slightly more maybe we will find a way to simplify this later, but yes. What do we call it? Why is my mind blank right now? I need it to not be blank. I am looking for yeah, this. So complete means we've finished, or we could just do abort. I mean, I know that's a really bad word these days, but it's been a computer word for a long time. And a space word. All right. So we will return make abort. Okay. And then down here, okay. There's going to be something called message. We have to go here and have an abort message. And, well, so complete. Let's see who sends complete. I think they just, yeah. So we just do this. So if we're not going to pass to interceptors, we're just going to return it. So we're going to say, we're going to get a message. It doesn't need a subclass because it's only got one thing. We do that. Now, I know I'm going to want to, I don't know why I use this. Maybe for consistency. Okay. Well, oh yeah, that's still not going to crash because we're still adding our source code. I have a feeling we're infinite looping on abort message. Like if I do this, okay, but I don't want people to have to think about the abort message. Maybe I shouldn't have added it. Maybe it should just be complete. But complete, we don't have a way of telling you if it was an error or not. We could do that. We could say it's complete, but it didn't go. Let's see. Okay. Here's my plan. Let's see which of these cases it is. I believe it's the first case, right? It's probably this. I mean, I'm not sure, but I think it's probably that. So let's see, and then if so, let's see why we're setting interps should exit. And because this really should be a complete message because it's like an empty program. There's no source. Yeah, you know what? We shouldn't have done an abort message. I think we're going to undo all that. Undo all the things that we did. Because it's a weird corner case that I don't want people to have to think about because it's never going to happen in a correctly working system. Well, I mean, again, let's see. But I think so. Oh, no, it's just this. Just that. And so we're going to break in make abort message. Look how long it takes to run this, dude. Oh, we have some data breakpoints probably. Let's delete all these except for make abort. Which one is the one that we just added? I honestly have no idea. Like the one in Messenger. Why does this have a little plus? Is that because of different threads? Dude, I don't know. Okay. So we're here. We're here. Oh, we got down to the bottom. So we do... We do signal this semaphore, I guess. Oh, we only wait for 50 milliseconds. Okay. Well, let's make that infinite for now. If we want to have a limited time polling kind of system, we could do that later. So now the problem is going to be that we're just going to wait forever because there's frickin' nothing happening. Yeah. Or no, actually we would loop still with the abort message. Yes, so the problem is how do we know the difference between if we're ever going to get another message or not? And the answer is if interps phase source added after preload complete is set. So right now we're saying, hey, there's no messages. Let's just go see. But no source has been added. Where is this variable? The phase. Source added after. Wait, true. What? What? We're not. What? Okay, wait. Now I'm really confused. Oh, yeah. Okay, never mind. The way the messaging system works is... Okay. Okay, guys. This is... this is a problem that I've had multiple times and may require a revision of the messaging system. So the way it works is you could make as many workspaces as you want. We're just making one here, but you can make a bunch of, a workspace basically just contains a program that you're compiling. So you could make a bunch of them, right? And then compiler wait for message just says like, look, whatever is happening in any of those workspaces, tell me what it is. And hopefully it's got the workspace handle on it. Right? Yeah. So we can tell which workspace it was and what it's about. And most programs are only going to do one workspace, but it is this one-to-many listening model. So like, it's not as easy as just saying, is the workspace that I'm listening to not producing code? It's like, is any workspace that I'm listening to, which starts to feel more flaky if we implement a check for that. But I think that's actually not the right check. I think the check is just this thing. When we say compiler begin intercept, we'll just queue up a complete message if no source has ever been added. This is a decision. So we used to have a sort of a bug where you would, some of our programs would say begin intercept, and then they would add source after that. Or no, actually it's the other way around. It's they would add source and then say begin intercept, and the problem was that yeah. Okay. The problem was that some of the source that we added would have compiled, and like you'd miss the messages because you didn't start listening in time. So now it's specified that you're supposed to call this before you add any source, which also means that this was wrong up here, but that's fine. This is just a repro case that someone emailed me. It's not a real program. So anything that adds source code, like the thing we deleted, whoops, would have to go here. And the problem is, you know, nothing's getting added, and then we're coming down here. So what we really need to do is, if there are no messages pending, we need to kick all the workspaces we're listening to and say, if you haven't added source, we are waiting for you, so tell us that you're complete. And then we're going to hope that the fact that we made it wait forever for messages doesn't kill any of the tests or anything. Okay, so let's try this out. So let's get rid of the abort message everywhere that it lives. Except that then, okay. See, if we should exit, we need to handle this whole other problem. We're like, if we're exiting, we don't want someone to go back and wait on a semaphore. So maybe we permit this to return null, and the caller handles it, I guess. All right. Okay, so should only happen if we are shutting down. What was it? It was in terps should exit. So we're going to make sure about that. And then okay. That's not the case that we're dealing with right now. That's not why we were returning null. It's the reason why we need to be able to. Okay. But the user program will never see the null. That's the point. Okay. So we need to I'm so slow today. I need to eat more chocolate. We need to go back and do the thing we were doing. Which is I don't like this, but we want to say poke everyone we're listening on. If they haven't added source, it's too late to add now, so they should progress in their build phase. I mean, I guess we just set source added after preload complete to true. Okay, so how do we know who we're listening on? Compiler, what do we call it? Start. What are my own procedures called that I made? Listening, and that's not listening. What? Okay, hold on. Let's go to our program here. Begin intercept, not listen, it's intercept. Intercept. Ah, okay. So we have messages intercepted by. I don't know if we have the other way around. We don't have. Okay, this is really bad. This is really ugly. We do not have a list of we do not have a list of who I'm listening on. I guess we're going to make that. We're going to say interp intercepting messages from add unique target. This is bad in so many ways. Like when we shut down an interp, we need to now go clean out that list. We're going to put handles there. And we'll speed it up because I don't want to have to maintain this. Although we should anyway. I just don't want it to be right now catastrophic if we don't remove it. Okay. So I'm going to go for intercepting messages from what is it called again? It's been, you know, when it's been a while since I've worked in one particular area, it's called source added after preload complete. Yeah. Oh, it get phase it if not source added after preload complete. Will that guy be sleeping for some reason? Or does he like spin? Like what happens? Because that guy's going to be on a different thread, right? We have to do this kick every time right now because we do not know whether whether messages would ever come otherwise. I don't know, man. Okay. So I mean, really, okay, let's get even more specific about this. Okay? Because we don't need the general array of things intercept targets that may need kicking. And by the way, it's a workspace handle. It's not a pointer. I'm using it here as a pointer. Auto target equals the system find workspace it. Okay. I hope that's... this is an old way of iterating arrays that I don't remember very well, but it lets us actually remove via this very verbose thing that I should simplify. Okay, so then these are target, 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 target. And then no matter what, after we've kicked it, right, we only, okay. So what we're doing is just saying, look, if it's too late, it's too late, go. We only ever need to kick people once, which gets rid of our problem. Let's call this just give it a short name because it's so damn long. Okay, so okay, this is much less of a gross thing than I thought. I mean, I'd rather not have a piece of code like this, but it's actually kind of fine. We're just going to do this, right? Do this, reset this. I don't know if this is the right operation to do, so we're going to have to think about if this actually solves our problem, but if it doesn't, we put something else in there that solves our problem. Okay, so we need to add this. What was that one called again? Dude, there's so many variables. Messages intercepted by, because this is kind of the converse array. So we're going to put them next to each other. Intercept targets that may need kicking. How many mistakes did we make? I'm sure lots. Oh, we need to get the phase to get that. phase. Array reset. Oh, this is the other, okay. This is the slightly more methody. Whoever programmed this was a Methodist. What's the reason for what ordering switch? Someone's saying, what's the reason for that ordering switch? And I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe something that I said. Oh, the ordering switch about listening for messages. It's not really about it being analyzable by the compiler, it's whether it's correct at all. Like if you start listening for messages on a workspace, you like want all of them, or you want it to be deterministic at least which ones you get, and it wouldn't be because there are multiple threads running. Okay. Well, we exited, I think. I mean, or we crashed in a weird way, but I think we exited, right? Let's make sure that this did what we thought. So we're going to say, if this happens, we're going to say printf kicking workspace this one, comma, it, no check-in, bro. So we should see that message. Yes. So we hadn't added any sources, so we kicked it. Let's see what happens now if we make the release compiler and build the game. Why don't I have taskbar auto hide? Because that would drive me nuts. I don't like this scroll bar auto hide that people do now. It drives me nuts. I don't want any of that. Will there be another compiler demo before release? Almost certainly. Avner mentioned that we suggested replacing a bunch of bash scripts with run directive stuff. How'd that work out? I think it worked out okay. You could ask him, but we're using it. Okay, we didn't break the game. That's good. Well, let's see if we can run it before we decide if we broke it. We can run it. Yay. How come I can't get map mode here? Did we break the map camera? No. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe we just don't enable it by default. Well, that's another thing for the to-do list. Why can't I see the damn... Why isn't it even telling me? It's there. It's not telling me to... What? Okay, I object. I'm supposed to be able to see an overhead map, so we have to fix... Maybe we'll fix that tonight. Fix overhead mapping, skipping stones. So many things to do. Okay. Well, let's see if our tests go. Oh. seems to be okay. That's good because that was one of the bugs that like, or not exactly bug, but like weird behavior of message loop that I didn't like. So we're going to check that in. We're going to say compiler wait for message can't return no anymore. We may want to make a oh, we've got a no check-in. Good thing I put that there. I was like, oh, it's not going to be necessary to put that there. We're only doing this for a minute. Nope, it was totally necessary. Totally necessary. Do not check in things that say no check-in. Okay, that's good. That is a bug fixed. This is fixed now. It only happened when a workspace had not added any code. Okay. Great. You learn they're basically about to only support Vulkan and abandon WebGL support. Nobody's going to support OpenGL. OpenGL is dead. I know that that's inconvenient for some people, but it's gone. Don't plan to be able to use it. Did we set up no check-in with an SVN hook? Yes, that is how that works. How many levels is the game going to have? A lot. A lot. I mean, I think if we were going to deprecate OpenGL, we needed to provide something in its place, and we haven't done that. So I think that's going to have to happen. I guess it'll just be a user level library, which is what I think is best anyway. But yeah, OpenGL's gone. And I assume that means WebGL's gone eventually. I mean, it'll straggle on for longer, but like. A big part of their engine is that they support WebGL. Well, I don't know much about Godot engine, but I assume that they think they're making the right decision. What was the issue with Vulkan again? There's lots of issues. Lots of issues. It is highly illogical. Okay, that was great. We're down to 40 emails in the email that I need to respond to. That's not really the point of today's stream, but compiler bugs were a few of them. Let me see if there's another low-hanging fruit compiler thing, or if we should move to game bugs, like, for example, that one that we just saw. I think maybe we do that. I think we go to game bugs. Okay. Well, yeah, let's change the stream name to Game Bug Divestment Program. And we're going to work on the game. Why, for example, does that not work? Now I assume that other levels that have multiple cameras do work, and that it's not just that the tab key is broken or something. I don't think so. Let's see. Like this, yeah. So this here, I'm hitting tab to switch viewpoints, and that's fine. If I go to promised one, it's going to have a low frame rate because of debug build, I think. Oh, no, it doesn't work here either. Bro, it broke. What is happening? Okay, so it's all the levels with overview cameras. This is recent because sometime in the past few days... Oh, wait, no, we just didn't have it by default. Okay, this one works. Okay, so it's just skipping stones. So see here, I put this. It's supposed to say press tab for an overhead map, and it doesn't. Why not? Why not? Camera controls. Select all. Okay. This one. Does it have an entity name? No. That might be why. I mean, did this just all get reset? Like, what's going on, man? Okay, now it set it, but I still can't do it. What is going on? What is the difference between this and this? That has is for map overview check. This one doesn't. What? Someone like hosed the camera, man. Still doesn't work. Okay. Is for map overview. Z near, Z far. Let's make this one 25. We'll make them match up. This one has per screen off. I really don't know. I really should just step through in the debugger and see why it doesn't like it. Bro. Is there anything weird about it? That's their... Wait, that's the... I got it backwards. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, don't panic. Don't panic. Just revert everything. Okay. I got confused about which one was which. All right, so this one is the map overview. This one gets the name overview. This one is our regular per screen camera. Now this is making more sense. Probably still needs some Z-near on there. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, something got screwed up, but it's fixed. So we have our little overhead map. Should we try letting people play in map mode? Maybe we should do that as an experiment. Why the zoom effect is a bit blocky. I don't know what you are asking. I'm going to have... Guys, the game's not done. If the frame rate is low sometimes, it's because the game's not done. Hey, why isn't your game perfect and do everything and run at infinite number of frames per second? Because it's not done. Yeah. Hey, why isn't your game available on Steam yet? Because it's not done. It's not done. I'm working on it. So are other people. We're all working on it. Hey, why did that transition take a long time? Why is this all a featureless white plane? Why are the sound effects not that good? Why are you using rasterization? Yeah. Okay, let's check in that map fix. Oh, we can take it off our to-do list. There's a serious bug that we're going to need to work on. But first, why are all these things modified? This is not good. Why'd they get saved? This is a mystery to me. Like sometimes we flag to save and upgrade entities. I don't know why. Like, why did we decide to save all the markers? I think that's... somehow a bug in the game or in the editor. I mean, do I revert all these? I really just want to do the cameras. It might have something to do with undo. Oh, you know, I wanted to put the view giver right on anyway. Yeah. So if I put it right on the player, then you'll automatically have it when you start the level. We probably should pre-clear all the fog too, so that it doesn't clear out like that, but whatever. View giver. Set the camera. Yeah. I'm going to revert all these just in case. It's probably fine. It might be a good idea to check them in. I want to figure out why at some point that happens, but I don't have to right now. All right. So we're still working. Still working. Okay, great. Great. Fix overview camera on skipping stones. Okay. Great. Now what? I think these are done. This. And then we can have some behavior that we could do. And then an editor thing. We already did that. We could do this one for fun. Look at all these level ideas in here that I need to put in the level ideas file. You said OpenGL is dead, but isn't Sokoban using it? Yes, but we're not going to ship in OpenGL. We're just using it right now. Do I answer questions about game design? Yeah, depending. If I think I have something useful to say, then I answer questions about game design. Sometimes I just say, I don't know what to say. We now have the picante salami to help us program. So we're going to start doing some stuff. There's a weird camera behavior that happens on these multi-screen levels. We can illustrate it It's easiest to demo if I turn on, if I turn on cheats and just go. So we will go to here. Can go to this level of the heist. Have we decided what rendering API we will ship with? That is an ill-formed question because in the year 2019, you have to ship on a different rendering API for almost every platform. So the answer is we will ship on different rendering APIs for almost every platform. So if I go here, we get this weird situation where the camera just like keeps going. I think we're probably wrapping it because my guy is off the map, but I'm not actually sure. Anyway, we want to fix that. It's not good. Does it happen if you aren't in a wall? Yes. But the thing is, okay. So this has, let's see when it happens. Will it happen if I go down here? No. I don't know why. I don't know what it's doing. We're just going to find out. We're going to go to here. So we have update camera per screen. I guess it's this part that's weird. Whoa. This looks like wrapping, but this is wrapping. What? What? Okay. Well, I think I kind of know what's going on here. You can use software render on every platform. That is true. It will be very slow, though. So we're picking a camera position. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So the cameras are targeted toward the middle of squares. Although, think about this. I mean, what's SY is 14. What is SY? Where does that come from? Proximity grid squares Y. So for some reason, this map thinks that we are 14 squares in Y. Right? So if I go to here, well, it says 18 by 6. So this is probably getting auto resized. Anyway, 12, 13. Okay. And basically what's going on is just, this isn't, so the map sort of stops before an even number of rooms. So like if I put another block up here, I think that'll fix the problem. Yeah. And it's just because we resize those numbers when we save or load or sometime like that based on what is occupying what squares. And, well, we have this extra code that, as far as I know, shouldn't even really be here. That's tripping on this stuff. Where was it? For current square. Like, because if we're wrapping, then we do all this stuff. I don't know. I'm going to at least just going to put that in here. Right, on a non-wrapping level. On a wrapping level, we would have had to insert enough blocks there for the spacing to be correct on the wrapping that we wouldn't have had that problem anyway. Oh, that reminds me of something else to fix today. Okay. Anyway, as you can see, I'm out in the zone here, and it's not freaking out anymore. Whoops. Haha. All right. So that seems to have been a thing. Now let's see if we broke anything. I mean, it looks like this is all working. Oh no, why is the frame rate low when I hit map? Why? Why? I wish it weren't low when I hit map. It'd give me less work to do, but now it gives me more work to do because we're not done. We're not done. Okay. Anyway. So that's good. Okay. Fix a camera glitch affecting per room levels. I mean, maybe I somehow broke something else that was actually for. The problem is automated tests wouldn't catch that either. Normally we would run our tests to make sure that what we were doing was safe. And it's not really going to catch it. You still think I'd have a better time in it than Windows? I've tried Linux several times. It never worked. It never worked. Actually, I've installed Linux many times. Honestly. I mean, I used to use Linux all the time in like 1995, 93. Guess what? It's worse now than it was in 1993. Boy, there's been a lot of chatting. I'm scrolling through the chat. Got a web development gig for 8 months. Can I explain what I'm doing? I'm working on a video game. What technologies do we use for the game? We use game programming. We use 3D math. That's a technology for sure, 3D mathematics. And computer chips, I think. Yeah, like I used to run, my daily machine at home was a Linux machine in like 1993. No troll. Linux is worse now than it was in 93. It's way less stable. Was it Slackware? Yes, it was Slackware. I mean, I probably ran one or two other things, but most people I knew ran Slackware at that point. So if people honestly don't think that computers are worse today, there was a thread that was on Hacker News, I think, comparing people's desktop between a couple of years. Was it this one? Yeah. Okay. So this isn't in the 90s, but this is like 2002. This is a thing a guy did in 2002 versus 2015. This is Dennis Ritchie. He looks pretty old school because that's Dennis Ritchie, right? There's some X terms from Brian Kernighan. Gee, wonder if people run that program today. You know, here's a desktop running Netscape with some stuff. It's all the same shit that we have today, except it was lower resolution in 2002, okay? That's it. Look at this. It's all the same shit we have today. Look, this guy's playing CDs. Or iTunes. Did iTunes even frickin' exist in 2002? I guess it did. Like, it's not like computers used to not do the things that we do today, okay? Everything sort of stopped developing. It's not true that your computer was the same in 2002 as it is today. No, it is tremendously faster today than it was in 2002. It's like thousands of times faster. Maybe hundreds, because Moore's law slowed down a little bit right around 2002. Very sad desktop. I mean, come on, this looks like this looks like every computer today, all right, except for the email program. Like, just to be clear, this is 17 years ago. This is 17 years ago. Okay, all we've done is we have all these same windows now, except they're slower and they crash more. That's basically it. Can I link that page? Sure. There's another one. There were a couple from multiple years. It might be on this same guy's website. Oh, see also the 2015 follow-up. Wait, what? I guess there's more here. Oh, this is maybe a superset with... Oh yeah, this shows their desktop in both years. So he said, hey, give me 2002 and give me 2015. So yeah, it's like, is that really very different apart from number of pixels? Are these really very different apart from number of pixels? I don't think so. I don't think it is. Okay, if you think these look 17 years old to you, then let me just say 17 years old before 2002 was 1985. Do you know what computers looked like in 1985? They looked like this. This is what computers were 17 years before those 2002 screenshots. And today is what they look like 17 years after, okay? Which one is 2002 closer to, this or today? And by how much? I mean, when was Apple II released? I remember having these in high school. Oh, 77. Let's pick something more modern. Commodore 64 release date, 82. That's pretty close. So Commodore 64 had color sometimes. So yeah, this is your desktop in the mid 80s right here. Amiga. Macintosh was released in 84. Do you remember what the original Macintosh looks like? This was the original Macintosh. Now, I'll admit, whoops, I wanted to just see that picture bigger. I'll admit it is closer to what we do today, but you wouldn't confuse that with a modern screen, especially if you saw it in motion, because it couldn't even redraw in real time. So like crap looked, let's see if we can find YouTube. And most people didn't actually work on Macintoshes in 1984, so it took a little bit longer for it to become mainstream. I think you need it to be like 86 or 87. Yeah, baby. Original Macintosh. It was a very slow computer, by the way. They're just skipping through screenshots.
Now, we've done a lot of talking about Macintosh recently. But today, for the first time ever, I'd like to let Macintosh speak for itself.
Sit back and listen. So it is with considerable pride that I introduce a man who's been like a father to me, Steve Jobs.
All right. It did look like insanely great. It did. All right. Well, anyway, my point is, I don't feel like there's a big difference between these. And as somebody who was around in those days, and actually programmed in those days, I especially don't think there's a big difference between 2002 and today, in my opinion. You're welcome to disagree. But if you didn't actually program in 2002, then maybe don't argue as loud. Or use a computer, I guess, because we're talking about desktops. If you weren't around using computers. What about the web and smartphones? Smartphones are hardware. Everybody knows hardware has gotten better, okay? What about the web? The web is really crappy software. I don't know, like, what do you want me to say about it? It's really bad. Am I supposed to be impressed by the web? Have I tried 4Coder yet? I tried it for a few seconds and I couldn't really get it to do anything. What has gotten better is machine learning. That's true. And graphics too, yes. But that's, again, mostly hardware. Mostly. Games have gotten better. That is true. Games, as a subset of software, are a lot more impressive than they were in 2002. Now think about the non-computer science fields. Has anything changed besides computers? I'm not a domain expert in very many other fields, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like very much has changed to me. But again, that's not that surprising. You know, I just did give a speech a few weeks ago about how we may be in technological decline. So, you know, if you're trying to argue that it's not happening because I can't point to progress in other places, I'm saying, no, I can't point to progress in other places. Spaceflight. Spaceflight is one place where we stagnated for a long time, and then we're finally doing new things. So you can land rocket ships as of a couple years ago. That's a new thing. No, poverty has gone way down in most places in the world. It's not just China. Although, it's even down in the parts of Africa that are not a disaster government-wise, poverty is down. The problem is you have countries like Zimbabwe, for example, that did really bad things and are in a really bad position now. Or, Congo, which has been bananas forever. But, you have Zambia or Botswana especially, which I've been to, by the way, which has a GDP per capita of like 7 times that of its neighbors. And so it's not really due to the environment. If you walk around Zambia, it's not that different from Zimbabwe or Botswana. But Botswana is doing a lot better. So, yeah. Yeah, well, I agree with what that thing that Oliver the Best Cat just said, where there were people who grew up in horse and buggy horse and buggy was the best transportation, and then they lived to see us land on the moon, right? And like fly across the country really quick. And we don't seem to be making that kind of progress anymore. And some people might say, well, it's because we did all the easy stuff, but I'm not sure I believe that. That doesn't really make sense to me. I think we just got bad at doing new things, basically. I guess I'm finishing this salami before we move on and fix the next thing. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the things that the USA used to do, like we built the Hoover Dam out in the middle of the frickin' desert, like not around anyone, right? We built the highway system. We did the Manhattan Project, right? We did the Apollo program. And then we just stopped doing big stuff like that. We just, as a country, said, you know what? Whatever. Like, any compiler demos coming up? Sometime. What I'm thinking is coming up is something I haven't done in a long time, which is Bengal Spice Tea. That's what I think is coming up right now. Someone says going to the moon is low-hanging fruit, but that doesn't even explain anything, because after we stopped going to the moon, or we didn't only stop trying to do better than going to the moon, we stopped going to the moon, and then we couldn't even get people into orbit without Russian space equipment. Like, for a little bit, the United States was simply not capable of lifting an astronaut even to the space station, which is a lot closer than the moon, all right? So it's not like, oh, it's low-hanging fruit and it was hard to do more than that. No, we stopped doing even that. You could watch the talk for details. There's no longer any Soviets. Yeah, there are. It's China. China's the new Soviets. That's exactly the point you were making. Okay, I didn't. It's when I got up to get tea, I probably missed some of the chat going by. How do I feel I'm contributing to improving humanity through games entertainment? Why don't you help Elon or work on something else that might enable more productive outcomes you're talking about? Well, it's a good question. I am making this programming language, which I hope will help with standard measures of productivity. But I also think games are important. They're an important part of the future. And it seems to be like everybody has special talents and special interests. And if you don't follow your special talents just because you feel like you maybe should work on something else, then maybe you'll never be good at what you could be good at, and then maybe you'll be mediocre at the other thing and not really contribute. So I don't know. I could definitely see leaving games at some point. If I didn't make video games for a living, I would have way more money than I have. Probably. I don't know. Who could predict, but probably. Did I watch the Elon Musk, Todd Howard? Yeah, I saw that. That was a good idea for E3. I was glad they did that. Like if E3 had stuff like that all the time, then it wouldn't be a silly mockery of an event as much as it was this year. All right, we've got some Bengal spice. We've got pistachio nuts. And when we run out of tea, maybe we'll transition to aloe drink. This is going to be a good drink situation. Make games at Uni House professionally for 60K. Is that 60K US or a different currency? I mean, I definitely know, this was a long time ago, but I know when I was visiting England, like south of London, in around 2003 for contracting, many full-time game developers made like 24,000 pounds a year. It was really low, even back then. Like, do I drink soda? Very rarely. I drank a small amount of soda today. USD, yeah. I mean, 60K isn't that bad if you don't live in San Francisco, probably, but yeah, I mean, anyone who makes whatever amount in video games for programming, they could probably make double, at least, if they just go to Google or somewhere without even trying. Like, that's like not even job hunting, right? It's sad, but that's what happens when your customers are mostly kids, frankly. Do I drink any booze? Very rarely. Since the latter is kind of a joke of a nation. I don't know. I like London. I would consider moving to London, actually, kind of, because it's actually a nice place, unlike San Francisco. Can work at Mojang and you get paid regular Microsoft salary or Halo. Yeah, I don't know. That would be an option. I mean, not for me, because I would not want to go get a job somewhere, but for other people. It's not reasonable to use them as a salary comparison for an average person. I disagree. Google does not really have high standards anymore. They used to. Now, Google hires lots of people who aren't that good. There are definitely good people at Google. There are definitely smart people and good programmers, but lots of people who aren't. Yeah, let's switch to like game development questions, because anybody can rant about things. Okay. I was going to set up a test case for the thing that we're trying to fix. We're going to make this a wrapping level. Going to get rid of drag on the dragon. Okay, and then, so first we're just going to make a wrapping level that works with no surprises. I just thought of another thing to fix. Okay, so, wait, we didn't set it to wrapping. Wrapping, he's the DJ, I'm the rapper. Wrapping. So in the editor, it just draws it like this, but we could like toggle our display mode to show wraps if we want. Okay. Now it only shows, like normally if we had a wrapping level, we'd pull the camera in closer so that you don't see off the edge or whatever. Okay. So this is fine. Now the problem is, in a wrapping level, you know, you're often just editing stuff and moving it around. And if I move these things so that they're like off the grid here, even one square like here. So right now it's like, hey, which are these? Are they here or are they here? You don't actually know because you could select either one because you want to be able to select either one. The problem is now, though, I can run right through them because they're not actually on the map. So yeah. So we need to fix that. Like when we move something on a wrapping level, we need to like snap it. Now I thought we already put this in. It's possible that we only did it like if I move this here, it wrapped it from 7 to 0. See, this one's at 7, this one's at 0, right? What if I put 7? Then it doesn't wrap it. Okay, so we're only doing the wrapping when you drag. It's like if I drag both of these, now they'll work. Now they won't work. Okay. Well, I guess I factor this out into a thing. So this manipulator is the little graphical thing with the arrows. And this is the thing that wraps all our positions. And let's call this post, move, wrap, and snap. Let's just do that. I'm going to say actually, yeah, I guess we'll just operate on the entire selection. As I say in this comment, we might actually have some operations that are like operate on a subset of the selection, but whatever. Okay. So that's fine. But now, translate by delta, or move selection calls translate by delta. Okay. Except this calls translate by delta. All right. And this takes, yeah, we're going to have to modify this anyway. Okay. Does that compile? Nope. All right, well. Let's actually do two different changes. So we'll tell you if we wrapped something, and we'll tell you if we snapped something. And actually, you know what? We'll do an overload. Why not? We're just going to make all these things happen. Oh. Call it do wrap and snap. So like that. Uh-oh. Remember that thing I did on the compiler? It's like not exiting now. Okay, we have an emergency. We have to go fix the compiler before bad things happen. Our problem was when we compiled all the tests to make sure our thing didn't break anything, we only compiled correct programs. Well, maybe not correct programs, but programs that didn't report an error and then end. And I screwed it up. So let's just get this finished and then fix the compiler, because, yeah. Okay. So note change, where does that live? Where does that live? It's in undo panel. Oh. E. But I also need the entity array version. I mean, why are we not passing the manager in here? We're getting it off an entity, which is ridiculous. Actually, I think so now we need this version. Why did we pass a pointer to an entity array? Oh no, it's not a point. Ah, I can't read. Why can't I read? I'm simply not having a brain. So, okay, this is an array of entities. Actually, we'll just do this. Not very efficient, but I guess the reason we made a separate call for it is so that we could make it efficient later if we want. Okay, Great. So now here, and then we also need to do this when we edit the position coordinates, I guess. Translate by, oh, is this the other overload? It's the other overload. Let's see if we fix this. So I'm just going to move it south. There we go. It snapped it, which looked like it teleported. But if we shift into this mode, then it doesn't. Great. Yeah. The problem now is when we edit here. Isn't there like a flags for position members that we set or something like that? Let's look. Pose, right? So when we get a pose note, we say pose variable. So who cares about pose variable? Okay. So okay. So item is constant for this loop. I feel like that could cause some problems that I'm not thinking about, but why do I need the entity manager there? Oh, for wrapping. Let's just do this. This is implicit anyway. Okay. So we won't pass this anymore. We won't pass this. And we won't do this. And we'll put this back. Probably forgot one. Nope. Okay. Okay, people. So we're editing. We're here, position, let's say 12.5. Haha, 0.13. Awesome. If we manip it, boom, goes back. If we keyboard move it, it goes back. Okay. Now I just mess around a little bit and hope I didn't break anything too bad. And then the art team yells at me later that I totally did. Doesn't look like things are broken right now. Of course, this isn't a wrapping level, but whatever. Most levels aren't wrapping. Let's go to the particle screen. Particle screen, particle screen. Doing the things that particles mean. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going to check it in. Call it fixed. And if I mess something up, we will be sad. But, okay. Okay, so when we report error on a workspace, should we send an error message? We could queue up, for now we could just queue up a complete message. Because the thing is, we just need to wake up whoever's waiting, because we're going into an infinite wait loop. How's it going in chat? Why if array entity.count explicitly? Because I thought for a second that it was a pointer to an array, but it wasn't. I don't know why I thought that. It's because I'm dumb. Is this the first game with custom language? Yes. What book is good to get into game development? I don't know. I don't know. Like, isn't there like some kind of game engine book that's good? I don't know. Does it use a proprietary asset loader? No. No. Is the server in Go? What server? What general qualities do I think make up a good programmer? Being interested in programming, wanting to understand how things work, being tenacious when it comes to solving problems, and being able to think through abstract things and visualize them, and caring about the quality of what you make, and not using JavaScript. Tau is twice as good as pi, I claim. Okay, let's fix. So let's go back and repro this problem in our simple thing that we were doing here. So remember, I added like a main thing here. If I just do this, add that to the source code, I think it'll do the same behavior that we just saw. Yep, it doesn't exit. So what we want to do is just say when we are exiting, or like when an interp reports an error, it should send messages to whoever's listening on it. The only reason for that being to like wake them up. Now I didn't want to make an abort error or an abort message, but I'm going to make actually an error message for now. And because I think like later we may want to try to like intercept errors and handle them or something maybe, but that's beyond our current technology. So yeah. Okay. So instead of this, when we sent the complete message, we did this. We did past interceptors. Okay. Now, advance phase. Who calls advance phase? What? Advance what is it called? Or report error. What? Oh, because we're not, okay, I'm searching the wrong place. Compile advance phase or report error. That's getting called from main. So we call compiler pump from somewhere. Searching in the wrong place again. We call it from general. So we pump the interp. If we reported an error, okay, we'll do it down at the bottom. But also maybe someday we will do something useful with these messages. Okay. Okay. So if we break, we say here or dot. Okay, and then we wanted to do this. Wait, didn't we? I guess I deleted that code and then erased it from the cut buffer, but we just want to do this. But it's error. Whoopsie. 87. Oh God, error is a macro. C++, never change. Never change. Why didn't that work? Illegal use of this tile. It's just not included. Hopefully I can just include messenger.h. Illegal break. Okay. Did it work? It worked. Except not really. Oh, because we got down to the end. Okay. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, wait. Are we screwing up and signaling the semaphore at the wrong time? What? Like, we put it in messages for intercept. And then we signal their semaphore. And we're holding the mutex when we do it. But not up here. Where are we? Are we holding phase mutex? Okay. I think we need to be holding phase mutex. When, what a pain. I mean, we could add a special mutex just for this thing. That's probably better. How do we do this? I would love to do this with more of a lock-free data structure, but I'm not going to do that right now. So we're going to do it with a mutex. Oh my God, are people arguing about state-free There's no such thing. Oh God. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. Yeah, I'm ignoring the chat. I'm ignoring the chat. My actual big beef is not with definitions of functional or pureness or anything. It's just that functional programming people like seem to delude themselves into thinking that problems don't involve changing state, when in fact they do. And when you pretend that they don't, you make a bigger mess than if you just admitted that problems involve changing state. That's all. I should disable my chat sometimes. Honestly, it gets a little bit frustrating. But, I mean, the most frustrating thing is when everyone is doing like low effort, smart ass comments, because I'm reading those and I'm like, it's not really funny. But I don't want to like ban people for that stuff because that would be stupid. So eventually I just stop reading chat, but for now it's fine. Yeah, I chose the streamer life to my own regret. E-mode, only mode. Yeah. Okay. What was I even doing before I looked at chat? I was programming. Good point. Okay, so we're gonna. It's very easy to make a mistake doing this, but we'll see. We're gonna make a mutex for this. And we're going to say bool have messages is false. We're going to say interp messages for intercept mutex.lock. We're going to say have messages is this greater than 0. We're going to unlock it. Immediately, okay. So we're going to lock it. We're going to know if we have messages, we're going to unlock it. So if we have messages, actually, if we have messages, where was the thing where we kicked guys? Oh, that was up here. I put this even in the wrong place. So we're going to go up here. We're going to do this. We don't have messages. we're going to go on down there and unlock it down there. Okay. And then we'll do it again. Wait. Now what we want to do is, while we're still locked, we get this again. Okay. Wait. Okay, wait. We go wait in the semaphore for an indefinite amount of time because we're waiting for messages. So now we're just going to do this again. We'll worry about simplifying it later. So we do this. Actually, if have messages was already true, we didn't do anything. So we do this. Okay, if we have messages, then again down here, we'll do a scope lock this time on this mutex. Where was the workspace mutex? So we need to grab, we're no longer grabbing the workspace mutex, which is good because we're not fighting over as much stuff. But then down here, we need to do this to look up a workspace handle. Oh my God, so much locking. Okay. This is going to have to get cleaned out later, but whatever. Okay, so we have to create this mutex. Also, here we're going to say we're locking that. Not the phase mutex and the workspace mutex. Oh wait, we need to lock that guy. That guy's messages for set mutex. That was almost a goof. And we'll lock it just long enough to do these things. Wait. Don't goof. Don't do it wrong. Don't do it wrong. Okay. Now, also though, we're probably not holding this mutex when we where was that? This guys who might be kicked array, right? This one that we just added today. Oh, geez. We also need the workspace mutex. Okay. This is so bad. We're just going to take this and release it. Because again, this operation doesn't happen very often. So we look up a workspace. There we go. This is getting hairy. This is getting really hairy. There's no way this is going to be correct. "5:45 in the morning. Welcome. Welcome. Okay. So when we set this up, which is also the time when we add people to the intercepted by array. Okay. We need to hold mine as well. Can this deadlock? No, because we shouldn't ever go to sleep while we're holding one of these. Shouldn't being the frickin' operative word. And no, we can. We can totally deadlock. This is bad. So the problem is the following. You have this standard ABBA locking situation where I'm getting my lock and then I'm iterating over these guys and I'm getting their lock. If somebody were to do the same in the opposite order at the same time, we could each pass this and grab our lock and then each be waiting on the other guy. However, you're not allowed to have cycles in message listening anyway. We don't set that up. Okay, so warning, this code is only correct right now because it is not possible for two workspaces to listen on each other. Ooh, actually, maybe it is. Actually, maybe it is, and we should outlaw this. It's supposed to be a strictly hierarchical thing, but I think if you just pass around workspace IDs, you could make it happen in the compiler. Yeah, that's no good. That is no good. Is lock a keyword here? No. No, that's just a weird C++ class that has a constructor that does things and whatever. I don't answer keyboard questions anymore because it's like the least important question. Maybe someday I'll put something on the page. Also, just I answered him too many questions. Okay, so I need to fix this problem so that people could run the compiler. In fact, if anyone's working on the weekend, I probably have a nastygram in the mail. Nope. Oh, maybe. Oh. I got that assertion false for some reason. Interestingly. From the extended compiler tests that run on check-in. But it's probably for the same reason as this one. Who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe I have something else to fix after this. Okay, so the thing that I'm wondering is, do we have a different deadlock? Like, I bet we do. I bet we have a different deadlock in here. Having to do with, like, the workspace mutex. Because people grab that all the time. I mean, maybe I should just grab it like from way outside. I feel like maybe, like tonight isn't the right time to do it because it's a fairly big change. But I wonder if we should just implement priority locks. Like, where you're only allowed to grab locks in a certain order. We could definitely implement that in C++. Using thread local storage, probably. I need to think about it. The thing is that making this actually, like, doing the design of what that's going to be is not something that's going to happen in like 20 minutes tonight. But I want to fix this problem in like 20 minutes tonight. Okay, if I don't store IDs in here, if I do actually just store pointers, then I don't need to take the workspace mutex. I think. Except no. That's not even true. I need to just do this design because, like, what's true and what's not true depends. It depends on design decisions that you make. Okay. So nobody in here holds the workspace mutex for very long. Okay. So if nobody grabs the workspace mutex before calling pass to interceptors, we probably maybe don't have a deadlock. I'm not ruling out the possibility that there is a deadlock here. It's just we're getting to the point in this code base where we need bigger guns than we have with regard to like organizing the locks and stuff. And of course, I would also prefer these to be lock-free in the first place. We just haven't made a lock-free queue or lock-free list or anything. We just have lock-free integers. That would help, probably. Because these are very low traffic arrays. So the simplest thing would be to just make them lock-free. Maybe we'll investigate that again. It's just, you know, writing a lock-free thing is also not the easiest. Although we did that a little bit on one of the earlier streams and we had some fun with it. It just was hard. But then once you've written it, you've got it and it's good. So, or hopefully good. I'm trying to avoid imports that are solid lock-free data structures available. Not necessarily. If they use C++ standard library, I would avoid them. But if they're like C style, I would take a look. I don't think it takes very much code to do a good lock-free queue. I don't know. I would probably port it anyway. I wouldn't like link a library for that because that's just too heavyweight of a thing. But if there's like a single file source version of one somewhere, I would use that. Just like linking a library in C++ is too painful to do, except for a really good reason. What's that program you use to look up symbols? You mean like dump bin on Windows? Or I forget the Linux version. Well, grep does work in a certain way. You can use strings to look up symbols. Oh, you mean the search program here. That's bear grep. Okay. Wow. I'm starting to yawn. Let's try to make this work. And we'll deal with deadlocks later. We might have made a big mess tonight. We might have made a real big mess. I I probably forgot to do things that I meant to do and all that as well, which is very bad when you're dealing with locking. Line 208. Oh. We should actually not use a scope lock here. We should lock this and then unlock it here, because then it's not locked while we grab the workspace mutex and do this stuff. Who knows what's going to happen, man? So why were we even doing all that? How does this help us fix this assertion down here? Because this was the thing, is we were hitting down here. I guess, okay, so the caller, I don't really need that assert. I don't know why did I do all that mutex stuff? I decided it was bad to be holding the workspace mutex all that time. But if this doesn't work, I'm going to revert it all and go back to that and just take out the assert and the, oh, but we need to keep in the part where we send the message. Okay, that didn't work. Does it like work? If we run the debug compiler on a working game, does it work? No. Okay. This is kind of a disaster. And my problem is I just got precipitously tired for some reason. Maybe my caffeine and sugar boost just wore off. What did I break? See, I don't feel like I should have broken anything fundamental, but maybe I did something wrong with this whole have messages situation. So if we don't have messages, then we get here, we could still have don't have messages. But why would that be true? Because we only should have woke up like somebody shouldn't have kicked that semaphore without putting messages in there. Right? Like we put something in right there. Buff expired. It's true. Our buff expired. Okay, you know what? I don't like this. I'm too tired to figure out the ramifications of this. So we're going to revert, but keep the important part. Of course, maybe it was important to change the locking, and I just don't remember why. Oh, wait, no, because there's a lot. We don't want to totally revert. Because there's all the stuff about the error message. All right. Let's see what we could revert. Interp.h probably just is this. Yep. Let's get rid of that. This one. Now watch, as soon as I'm done reverting all this, I'll remember why it was important. Okay, okay. Okay. That's all going to revert. We want to remove the assertion, but that'll be easy. This stays. This stays. This stays. So why does this keep being modified? I don't even know. Somebody did something to cause that, I think. Okay. So we're back to the old mutexing situation, and we're just going to take this out. Now the other assertion at the calling site that says that we should only get there if these should exit variables are set, I have a feeling that one's still going to go off. I got a feeling. I've got a feeling. Got a feeling. Yes. Why? Wait, is that a different one? Because this is weird. Do we not set interps should exit if one guy errors? Okay, we don't report an error. Why are we returning with no message? I'm confused. Like, why did that change? That didn't happen before. We're just adding a message. Okay, wait. Because this never was happening until we added this. Pass to interceptors. If we don't do that, then we'll just infinite loop, right? Bro, what is going on? Is there any big black box I've relied on in my career? I don't understand the question. Can't semaphores wake up spuriously, or is that just futexes? I don't believe semaphores are allowed to wake up spuriously, because the whole point of a semaphore is to tell you how many of a resource are available. That's why they like count in integers. So I could be wrong about that, but it wasn't doing this a little bit ago. Now, one thing I did do, I changed some behavior in compiler pump. I might have inadvertently changed that. Let's see. Because I edited something and then kind of changed it back, and let's see. Doesn't look, looks like I changed it back exactly. Wait, where's compiler pump? Is it even in that file? Hold on. What are all my things? Dude, there's hardly any changes. Maybe it asserted like that in the debug build anyway, and I just didn't run the debug build before. Like maybe if I build a release build. Right, I left that commented out, right? Yeah, I think. So if I do release build, does it just hang? Oh, that's for the whole game. Wait. That's so weird. Okay. There it hangs. Oh, right. That's why I was confused, because we went from compiling one program to compiling the other program. Okay. So, if we put this back, wait, we did put it back. Wait, what? What? Now what's even going on? Dude, now I am so confused. I thought when we added this, it fixed our thing. And then we just got the assert on top of that. If that wasn't true, then my whole life is a lie. It's not true. Okay, so now I have a million problems. I have to fix the compiler. before anyone else tries to use it. And I'm really tired and kind of have a headache. It's not that good of a situation. What do I do here? Okay. I can always fix the problem, quote unquote, by just not sleeping forever. Like if I revert the fix, let's test this theory. In fact, we'll leave this error message in here, even though it doesn't actually do the job. If I go here, and we change this to false, I believe that prevents us from infinite looping. Always. Now, yeah. So we may still have our assertion problem. But as phase one of like emergency fix, I can just retreat on my attempt to fix that previous bug and just check this in, and it's like, okay. Because something weird is happening. Yeah, so we're still asserting that and that's my new assert that I added, right? Yeah. Now, of course, it's no surprise that this assert goes off now. The surprise is that it goes off even when we supposedly wait forever on the semaphore. Maybe that part's broken. Like, yeah, maybe, but I thought it was infinite looping correctly before. I mean, let's look at it for a second. I mean, we say infinite. We can always just test that or whatever. Wait, what? Release semaphore. That's a very scary name. I don't like create semaphore and then release semaphore. Yeah. It's a scary name. Seems like a sleep on it problem. I agree. I think I'm going to try to just check this in without doing too much damage and then sleep on it for the real solution. We still got plenty done today. We fixed a couple other compiler bugs besides this one that we have to retreat on. We fixed a couple game bugs and some editor stuff. Who knows? Maybe all of that's a disaster too, and I have to undo it all, but I hope not. So there's been some good progress. However, this is not good. So I'm going to mark this with fix wait behavior. That's going to be my thing here. We're going to leave this here, but it doesn't seem to work. Like, this doesn't seem to wake our threads up correctly, among other things. So I will know to search for that in the morning. I will even make myself a piece of paper that says this. Okay, so let's just make sure, firstly, that we pass tests, secondly, that we don't infinite loop. Oh, whoops, there we go. We don't want to infinite loop or assert on a basic thing like an error. Okay, this is expected actually, because this is the original crash that we were fixing, which is that compiler wait for message was not allowed to return null, but we're allowing it to return null again because our fix was failed. We thought it succeeded and it failed. So we're falling back on this bug. This bug is going to continue to exist for a little bit. All right. And assuming all this passes, we're going to check this in and say fix hang when compiling something that generates an error message. Things may still be pretty screwed up. We'll see. Okay. I suppose I should have checked that these passed. They sort of looked from the background like they passed. Oh, and then the other place where I want to put this little note is on the wait, the semaphore wait. That was in Messenger. This one, we want that, because we want that to be true. All right, thanks everybody for coming by. We are going to sleep on this problem. It doesn't seem that complicated, honestly. I mean, the whole like, how do we do the locking better is complicated, but the like, why are we like returning and then asserting and all that? That does not seem that complicated. Maybe it is, but I don't think so. I think it's just like I'm not seeing something that should be obvious. Let's see if there's anyone to host. It's been a while since we thought about this. Science and technology. Twitch plays game dev. JavaScript WebSockets. Lurk Zone. Relax with the sheep. C Game audio system. Oh, it's Devin. What's up, Devin? We'll raid Devin. Thanks everyone for coming by. We'll try to stream some more before I have to go back and do hotel Wi-Fi. It's just hotel Wi-Fi is the worst. Can't stream over hotel Wi-Fi. I've tried.